Good evening, how we're doing? Monday, 18th of May, and what's going on this afternoon? It's the first rain we've seen for a little while. Um, yeah, but that's not not let that put a dampener on things, as we talk about nutrition, training, and all the things that are going to make us successful with whatever we're doing at the moment in terms of our fitness goals. So, as we talked about before, you know, through the social distancing, isolation, just because of the different kind of stresses of that, being able to maintain health and fitness is a great thing. And if we're just doing that right now, that is, spot on, absolutely fine place to be in, is maintaining movement, exercise, workouts, maintaining healthy nutrition. That's only going to be a benefit. And as I talked about earlier with Daily Focus, that's only going to be a benefit for life in terms of living a longer life, and it's only going to be a benefit for living better for more years of your life. So that's absolutely fine. Just getting those workouts in, exercise, and like I say, a good food intake most of the time. That's going to be really cool to keep moving forward. And as we're in a still in a situation of people getting ill and people being coming down with the virus or other things, then you know what, being healthier and fitter can only be a good thing to either avoid it or be in a really good position to come through any sort of illness or whatever that might affect us or someone close to us, and therefore the risk for ourselves goes up. But what I want to talk about today is almost working in two opposite directions. And I think that from the outset of this, probably a good thing for me to say is that often, and not always, ladies come to me with one goal, usually weight loss and fat loss, and guys come to me with more of a kind of joint goal of weight loss and fat loss, and then also muscle building. And in a roundabout way, almost get everyone to do the same sort of thing, because what most ladies will also say, I want to lose fat, lose weight, and be toned. It's just a different language around really doing the same thing. But what I've just been kind of coming to realise as I've been thinking about this, actually, before I came to do this, is that although those goals actually end up being quite similar, the approach actually needs to be probably a little bit different, and creating once again another difference really between the approach for men and the approach for ladies. And that's not to say the training, the actual mechanics of what you do is that much different. It's just the approach needs to be different, and a lot of the mindset actually is a little bit different. I think most ladies are kind of programmed along the lines of weight loss, fat loss is better, and that's what they're generally always working towards, in a sense, in management of that. And that is kind of really high in the psyche of ladies. Guys, it's a little bit different, and I've done it where kind of being not in the kind of best condition in terms of physique, you can kind of get away with it in a sense, because if you do have a frame that holds weight well and do have a bit of muscle, having extra weight in the right sort of clothes actually just makes you look bigger. So people are, you must be training really well because you are looking nice and big. Well, yeah, but actually I'm probably in not as good position as we might have been maybe 8 weeks ago, 12 weeks ago. And sometimes that's on purpose, and people do kind of come down and shred or get in shape for summer or whatever it is, and then purposely put weight back on. Honestly, for me, when I've done it, it's been more accidental, and around times of the nutrition, being focused on nutrition has got to go to one side while I do some other stuff in my life. And that might be the same for other people. It's kind of, there's time to when we can really focus on the health and fitness and the nutrition and tracking and all that sort of stuff. And there's other times when you don't, and then you kind of see you end up with in a position based on what you've been focused on. But I think we've got, in a sense, approach this in different ways for ladies and for men. So on the kind of ladies side, the continual kind of working towards losing fat, losing weight, has potentially, over a long period of time of working on it, a negative impact on hormones and metabolism and things like that. And there needs to be potentially a little bit of thinking about actually how long can I do this for, in how focused can I be for this, and then take a little break and then go again, rather than trying to go, get to a point where it's a birthday, it's a holiday, okay, well, now I'm not on it, and now I've got to go back on it. Actually, do you know what, let's start to think about it in a way of, we'll do it for this 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever, and then we'll actually take a break, because actually that's going to be better, and that's going to put you in a better position. I think I started to mention last week, diet breaks, and it's not that it's in a sense it's bad terminology, because I don't want people to feel like they're on a diet. It's a nutrition lifestyle, really, and fitting everything in. But what we're talking about is, because for fat loss and weight loss we're in a calorie deficit, then we need to also come back out of that at times and only go up to maintenance. That means the calorie level where basically nothing's going to change, but internally glycogen and glucose stores get replenished, and hormone levels can rebalance, and the body's under kind of less stress because it's not trying to burn fat as fuel from being in a deficit. And that maybe should be planned in, on my part as well, when working with people, should be more planned in and a more regular thing. And as we talked about the monthly cycle for ladies as well, that's an ideal time to do it. So kind of every third month, for instance, if I said, actually, do it on that week when you don't feel like doing very much anyway, and your calorie needs are higher, we'll actually just take it up a little bit more and basically have a little break. And that doesn't mean kind of throw all the principles out the window and just eat ice cream for the week, although that can be, one night or 2 nights. Everything within reason. Let's actually bring the calorie level back up, and have a week off, as it were. We're not having a week off, we're just having a week at maintenance. We're just putting the calories to a different position to allow things to allow the body to kind of reset, in a sense. And that's what a diet break is. And sometimes I've known people go through a longer diet break to work out, get some things that aren't working well because of a prolonged period of being in a calorie deficit back on track. And obviously we're talking for ladies really right now. And then I've known people go the other way, and I'm going to come to that in a minute with the guys as well, which is actually keep on taking their calories up until the weight actually starts to go up, because I've been kind of dieting for so long. And I talked about this with a couple of posts a couple of weeks ago, dieting for so long that it's not having any effect anymore, because they can't actually push the calories down any lower. And actually then you need to bring the calories back up to then actually create a position for people to be able, for the body to actually be able to change again. So in a sense, that's what this diet break's about. It's just a shorter thing. Guys, generally, works better the other way. So if ladies' hormones were affected over a long period of time by being in a deficit for a long period of time, and that's being in a genuine deficit, that's not kind of, I'm trying my best and I'm dieting. And another reason to take a break is if actually, for whatever reason, life-wise, you can't sustain it, that's cool, take a break from it and come back to it life-wise, like when you're actually in a position to do it. But the opposite is probably true for guys, to put yourself in a better position hormonally for muscle building, and the main driving hormone for guys is testosterone. Actually, you need to lose body fat, because body fat seems to scientifically down-regulate testosterone production in the body. Therefore, makes sense that actually getting a leaner position, usually by doing the same sort of workouts, just manipulating the nutrition, maybe adding some more conditioning type stuff in there, So working on getting more athletic and more explosive alongside resistance training, cardio, whatever it looks like for you, then for guys, that's actually going to put you in a better position to then increase their calories back up for muscle building. Now, where this kind of really crosses over is in this area of toning, in the sense of the reason for resistance training and whatever that looks like right now, could be bodyweight training, bands, any equipment you've got, you know, is to preserve muscle in a deficit. So we're trying to stimulate the muscles to be used. Therefore, the body wants to keep hold of them and burn fat as fuel rather than starting to metabolize muscle. Now, so that's that mechanism. Some ladies come to me and say, I want to lose weight, want to look toned, which is preserving muscle, bring your body fat down, then you'll have a toned look. But I also want to build my glutes. That's quite a common one. Or I want to get stronger in my upper body. Now, technically, the two don't go hand in hand. Now, you can get better technique, and actually I do think you can get stronger. And let's be honest, most of the time, people know what the deficit should be, but they're probably slightly eating over it. So people are probably closer to maintenance more of the time than they're in a kind of real strong deficit. Therefore, getting stronger can go on at the same time. But if someone's really good at sticking to their deficit and still training, the numbers, the progression with actual physical numbers of the weights they can lift will be steady compared to someone who is at maintenance or eating slightly above. So someone who's doing that, you'd expect them to make really good progress. So the two really don't happen at the same time. So for someone who wants to build their glutes, for instance, actually need to be at least maintenance or above for recomposition. Now, recomposition is a different term to kind of old school thinking. Bodybuilding wise used to be you're either cutting down, getting leaner, or you're bulking up. And when you bulk up, you eat as much as you can pretty much and just go for it and actually, in a sense, get really out of shape and give competitive male and female people who've competed have kind of gone to each extreme. Now, there's somewhere in the middle, that recomposition I'm talking about, just above maintenance, where actually you can maintain a fairly lean physique, not add too much fat, and get stronger, is definitely a thing that can work. And so I'm going to get a little bit deep into the kind of training methodology, but you will look more toned, and actually muscle will look better with weight loss and fat loss, but it won't necessarily build any new muscle. I think it's the conclusion of what I'm saying. So you will look better, but it wouldn't be actually new muscle. So we've kind of got to work things in then into cycles. So for ladies, that might be, do you know what I'm going to get to? I'm going to go for a certain period of time with fat loss and weight loss, and then because I actually do need to have a diet break, let's make that a little bit longer into a maintenance phase, maybe 8-12 weeks. So working in 12-week cycles or 8-week cycles, go up a bit, and then work on the building the numbers or building the kind of output, so what I'm doing with my training, so I can actually then build muscle in the areas I want to. So it could be overall, as in all different movements, could be particularly focused on lower body, could be focused on glutes, whatever it is. Guys, in a sense, need to do the same, but actually they probably need to do it the other way around, in the sense of most guys would go and pick up weights and try and lift more, and that's cool. That's kind of what we do. In a sense, it's kind of a natural thing, but actually probably need to not worry too much about the numbers to start with, get in a leaner position, and then build back up in terms of then adding more calories in. And it comes down to the same as I said before. You know, guys do have it a lot easier. It's just a case of making things more optimal for guys for change in terms of getting leaner and then working our way up. And that, you know, it's maybe slightly frustrating as a lady, especially if your partner, husband, whatever, you both train and change happens loads quicker for them, and they can literally do what 6 weeks till we go on holiday. I'm just going to tighten up my nutrition, keep on training, and bam, great, look, I'm where I want to be. Whereas lady can go for, if we do have to do the same really for at least 12 weeks, 18 weeks, you know, they're going to think about it way more in advance, manage things a lot differently to get to the same position. And it's, you know, that, I can see how that could be and can be and is really frustrating. But I think sometimes because people are, I don't want to call it camps, maybe the two camps, the ladies on the one side and the men on the other side, are kind of so fixated on the goals that they've got that they don't kind of see the similarities and the differences that need to go on. It's not funny in a sense, but it's become funny over the years, is seeing a guy who's done a fair bit of training in the gym, who's quite experienced, come with maybe a new girlfriend or whatever, or his partner has now decided that she wants to do the gym and they're going to train together, or she's been doing classes and then she's going to come up in the gym because they want to work out together. And it's not funny because the potential for injury and things is there. When they just start them on the kind of, well, I've been doing these movements, back squat, bench press, all those sorts of things that guys tend towards in the gym. So I'll just show you how to do my workout. And it doesn't take into account the physical strength differences. The fact that, for instance, with a back squat, most ladies haven't got much traps. They haven't got big shoulders to even get the bar onto. And then mechanically, bench press wise, just from ladies have boobs and guys have pecs, you know, they haven't got the same strength in their chest. So even with the bar or a little bit of weight on, it's a totally different kettle of fish for a guy pressing a barbell to a lady pressing a barbell. And it's not to say that men and women can't do the same movements and essentially really do the same workouts, but usually there's because of the differences there, leads to a slightly different approach and slightly different exercise selection for the same movement, you know. And that's where someone like me comes in with saying, actually, you're starting off, so you need to actually use a machine, or you start off with these lighter dumbbells, or let's get really good at press up with your hands raised up nice and high so you can get into that nice position. And rather than trying to get onto a row machine and not having enough awareness of how to keep your core tight and keep stood upright, let's do a row to the bar, because, you know, take it back a little bit, kind of playground moves almost, of pulling yourself towards a bar or using a TRX, all those sorts of things. And then that's actually going to do the same movements, work the same muscles, and then we can build up to these other things. And as I say, the movements might be similar, but it's just how we use them. And it's just kind of things to bear in mind as we're working towards our goals. And you know what, there's nothing wrong with taking focus time of, you know what, I'm just working towards fat loss, weight loss, or maintaining. And I'm going to also focus on what I'm doing in terms of tracking and numbers, performance. That's really good for me. That's a massive thing for me. When I do a workout for myself, I'm always writing down and tracking exactly what I've kind of done in terms of exercises and the weight and the movements and things like that. And I do the same for when I do a session with Hannah, and I do the same for guys I do one-to-one personal training with. Got my clipboard, writing it down, comparing to last week, or like week before that. You know, I've got folders with people I've trained for a long time, going way back, and you know, and then I have the things like the fitness tests to see what's going on there. So yeah, lots of tracking of what's going on, but also we've got to keep in mind what we're actually working towards. So if the numbers are plateaued because we're in a calorie deficit in terms of strength, particularly, in a sense that's to be expected, because you're not fueling the body to build more muscle. The technique might have got better, and you know, in terms of mindset, how hard you can push, that can get better as well. And that's sometimes why I choose exercises, even the workouts we're doing, just bodyweight at MW Fitness Online right here. I'm choosing exercises that are going to be accessible and going to show that they're going to keep moving in terms of progress, in terms of a little bit of technicality, but also having that scale to move back, because we're going to have a bit of ebb and flow with how much energy we've got, and that needs to be kind of taken into account. And I think when I was in my 20s, I was always kind of looking to improve week on week. And then as life catches up and you've got more responsibilities and more things that make you tired other than just what you choose to do, then you kind of have to take that a little bit more circumspect. And actually, the very fact of doing a workout is enough on that given day, and then the workouts stack up over time to create the progress towards whatever goal you're working towards. And that's cool. Sometimes not just going through the motions, you know, still making a good effort for that time might not look like as good as the workout the previous week, but you only got to take into consideration all the other factors around that. I've been working more. I've been a couple of nights we haven't slept so well because maybe one of the kids has been up, or the weather was rubbish and the rain was banging on the window, the wind was howling, all that sort of thing. I've got to take all that into account. I think more as adults than when maybe back when we were a bit younger, if we've been training for a long time. So yeah, working towards the right goal at the right time is really what should have titled this. And yeah, putting that together into a cohesive plan. And I'm working with people right now who are focusing on weight loss, are focusing on fitness, and it really, for me, mostly it comes down to manipulating the nutritional intake, and at different times maybe adding or taking away different elements of training. So if someone came to me who had a history of doing some training at the moment, the guy came to me with a history of doing some training, not been doing very much for the last 6-7 weeks because of social distancing, isolation, thought the gym would be open much sooner, so I thought I'd just take a little break, and now I've really got out of the habit. I'd start them off with fitness, really, doing kind of like the MW Fitness online workouts, get that condition back before starting to move into doing too much with weights. And that's not to say wouldn't get them started with, do some press ups and pull ups and start to build that back up. But let's actually get your body working again and get your body fat down a little bit, so your body's hormonally prepared for the next phase, which might then be muscle building. It might just be that actually they just want to get in shape and get leaner. And actually, that's probably right now that's a great way to train. Same with if a new lady starts, then we can start from that position of what they can do. And I've got people watching now who are doing different sorts of workouts from each other because of their position they're starting from, and to make sure that they can work towards maybe accessing all the MW Fitness online workouts. Equally, there's people that have got issues that mean they're not going to access those workouts that well now, so we're working through kind of rehab and things like that. So the all kind of needs to merge together in terms of what the goal is, what the workouts are, how we manage working towards that goal, in terms of thinking about things like, do we need to take a break? How long have we been doing this for? In terms of, especially for ladies, how long have we been trying to push towards a calorie deficit? And some of you naturally might have kind of eased back or eased your calories up anyway through social distancing and isolation, just through not wanting to focus on that because you've got enough going on. That's absolutely cool. And then you're going to kind of ease back into it and re-establish your calorie deficit and your regularity of your training and things like that. So sometimes these things happen naturally, as I was saying before, about you ended up focusing on something different in life. Therefore, you don't track your food. You're a bit more relaxed about what you're eating, and guys just call it bulking. And sometimes ladies feel bad about it. Oh no, well, I've not been focused on my nutrition, and now I look terrible or feel terrible. But probably actually there's not that much difference, really. Just that psychologically, I've not been exercising the same as I was. I've not been eating the same as I was, and I'm not feeling exactly how I want to feel. But you put those things back in place, and things start to move forward again. And all these things take time. As always kind of say, being patient. Sometimes 2 to 3 weeks of getting back into the routine, or being focused, actually you start to feel a lot better anyway, and that's good. That's cool. And then hopefully you're working consistently. People start to notice, and you know what, we're all our own worst critic, and we'll all kind of say, do you know what, I'm nowhere near where I used to be. Which is why another reason why I encourage everyone to do the measurements and the fitness tests and things like that. To say, do you know what, just you won't see it in the. I mean, I do these talks facing a mirror, and sometimes I've got the camera when I'm setting it up the wrong way around, and I can see the back of the camera and see myself. So I get out of bed in the morning, so bedroom, bed in the morning, and I generally don't sleep with the top on, and I can see myself, and you know, it's kind of like instant analysis and criticism. On a daily basis, I can't change, I can't do anything without looking and seeing this in this big mirror, and you know that has a knock-on impact on me. And I have been in great shape at different points in my life, but it's not a continual thing. So I totally get where you're coming from when you're a bit down on yourself, but don't get too down on yourself, I think is what I'm trying to say. You know, everyone's in that position. You know, hopefully through these Q&As and coaching and training and all the different things, you know, you've got a really good understanding and idea of how to get to where you want to get to, and it's just the process of working through that. And you know, life hits us sideways sometimes. The whole social distancing, the whole, you know, gyms closed, and we have to readjust and do things differently. And sometimes, you know, those things are outside of our control. People have had to work a lot more. People had to work a lot less. Routine's gone out the window. You know, the routine's completely cram-packed full of, you know, trying to work at home, homeschool, all those different things. You know, working in a different way so you can still do your job, but you're at home, and then you don't realise the time, and the workout time's gone, and all those different things. So take a little step back. What you're trying to achieve. Okay, right now I'm trying to achieve this. Or do you need to come to me and say, actually, this is what's going on. What should I do? What are the maintenance calories? You know, I always start off setting people up with the calories they need to work towards their goal. But if that's either changed or, in a sense, on a little pause, well, I'm happy to give you an idea of what your maintenance calories should be. Or, you know, I've been doing this now. I'm into, you know, well into the second month of the 28-day challenge. So some of you started that in April, and then we're going to go through May now, and then we'll hit June, and there'll be another challenge. But at some point, do you need to take a break and just say, actually, I've been working at it now for 3 lots of 4 weeks. That's 12 weeks. When should I put that in? And actually, some people find that once they've done that break in always pushing into the deficit, for ladies, the body does actually change then much quicker in the time after that. And yeah, you know, that's absolutely, that's cool. And sometimes it's what's needed is that little break, and it's as much a mental break. And you know, some of us right now are experiencing less stress and pressure because not working. Some of us are experiencing more. So you know, we've got to manage that as well. And that, you know, it's not just a mental thing, it's a physical thing, and stress can cause the body to not do much else other than dealing with stress. Therefore, fat metabolizing and weight loss become really difficult to do. And hopefully, maybe working out, exercising is one of the things that relieves that for you, which is great. That's a definite bonus. But then you might not actually be moving much goals wise, which is cool. But there is the ways to manage that as well. And I hope some of the stuff I do with Lunge and Listen and Daily Focus, hopefully that helps towards those things. But once again, you know, I'm here to try and help with that as well. So, just having an understanding of what's going on, focusing on the right sort of goal at the right time, and not trying to do too many goals at once. Kind of more than one is one too many. And then, yeah, just that variation again between men and ladies. And you know, any help, any support, as always, with these things give me a shout. And yeah, always happy to talk through and work out what's the best short-term, medium-term plan and keeping moving towards your goals. So I'm going to go out for a little walk in the rain with the dog, and I hope you guys have a great Monday evening. MW Fitness Online, we're back tomorrow morning with Tabata workout at 8 a.m. and then weights at 6 p.m. So have a good one. And yeah, any questions around this stuff of what I'm working towards, should I keep doing it continuously or do I need to take a little break? You know, please give me a shout. Always here to help.